Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Let's dwell on that for a bit. How many of you guys have seen this, recognize this little server right here? Yeah, pretty basic, right? How often do you guys think about race? Once a month? Once a week? Or like me, pretty much every single day? How often do you think about the relationship between race and identity?
Yes.
Now we all know the history of America is tainted with the oppression and marginalization of certain groups of people. Now me being African American, Haitian, Black, I'm obviously going to focus on the Black community. And I want to first understand the relationship between race and ethnicity, be able to communicate and raise self-awareness, and understand how we can become agents of change within our community. So my project is Know Yourself, Know Your Rights. Understanding identity in a racially conscious society. Look, so my 3 points, understanding, know yourself, how race and ethnicity and identity all come into play, and how they come into play as we develop our own identity. I also want us to understand how they all intersect and how they all affect us. We may not realize it, but race and ethnicity, they all affect our lives in some aspect. Of course, understanding the history of America and the terms that come into play. So, of course, race, ethnicity, culture, stereotype, threat. Being able to create, working with students to create, being able to work with students so they can understand these terms and eventually be able to communicate and raise self-awareness. Create dialogues across all the races where they, again, raise self-awareness, kind of create a buzz so they question everything and they understand, like, there's an issue in our country and they're trying to question everything to understand, what can I do about it? This will lead to my personal goal in life, is to be a successful agent of change in our community. I mean, who doesn't want to do good things and help other people? Agents of change in the community willingly and selflessly donate their time, their skills, and their knowledge to do good for others and help others. So my project, I don't even mention it earlier, but my project is basically going to be creating a workshop for students, for all students, for high school students to come together, first understand these terms, and be able to, again, communicate, have dialogues, and hopefully go out into the community and spread that knowledge. Any questions? Trying to get things good. No questions? Yeah. Oh, look at that. 2 questions. All right.
I noticed that there's some kind of gradient in the arrow, and I'm sure that it has some sort. Wait, is that just a coincidence, or did you know?
I got this off of no.
Well, anyway, if you want to use it for to benefit your project, I think it's interesting how you find this problem and you just want to just communicate to the community and then just change it. So I think that
it was intentional.
So you said you're going to do a workshop. Is this going to be a one-day thing, or do you plan to do a series?
So. I have a little time to go into that. Basically, I want to do a 2-day workshop, literally kind of we trap students together, and we're gonna have fill you with knowledge, but not try not to overwhelm you. But basically, the first part, know yourself, understanding these terms, understanding how everything's comes into play. Maybe have some guest speakers, stuff like that. And then the second part, know your rights, is the part where we actually go into the community and after understanding how race comes into play and affects the Black community specifically, especially with the recent the news having a lot of media on black deaths and Black Lives Matter, understanding what your rights are when you're stopped by the police and understanding how you can help others. So that's the second part, I guess.
And then a couple times you just said "we" when you were describing what you're going to do. Is that an accident, or who are you doing this with?
Who am I doing this with?
Yeah, you said we were gonna fill you with knowledge and
well, I mean, getting some volunteers. I'm president of Black, so definitely they're gonna help me out with that. My club advisor, anybody who's willing to who wants to be a part of this. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Nelson Mandela is supposed to be there at the bottom somewhere, but education, knowledge, understanding who you are is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world and become a successful agent of change in the community. Now go off and do good things.